Sit down, everybody, and welcome to Satsang tonight. This evening, let me first apologize. We're starting a little bit behind. Um, we have young Anushka with we assisting with the recording for the YouTube, and we're streaming live on Facebook. So, as we get settled, I am sure some of you will be viewing live now. Some of you will be coming in, and that's fine. Some of you may be watching it on the repeat. So at this time, let's do some opening mantras. And with the opening mantras, then we'll begin in our discourse and I'll explain why I'm doing this at this time. So everybody, please join your hands, bow your head and close your eyes, and let's begin with opening mantras. Om Gajananam Bhotaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jumbo Palachara Bhakshitam Umasutam Sho Kavinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Parapankajam. Together, everybody, let's go. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayani Namostute. Whilst I say my mantra, you say your Guru mantra. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Everybody in your home, say it with me this one last time. Nobody are hearing you, nobody has seen you. Come on, let's do it together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Siddharam and welcome again everybody to Satsang this evening. Yours truly, Keshava Gosine with you. And this evening we begin 5 nights. I labeled it Gyan Yagna, set in this time of Kartik. Just before we started the broadcast, somebody called, Baba, is tonight Karva Chauth? I want to answer to everybody. Yes, tonight is Karva Chauth and tonight is the US elections and it have many great things going on tonight. Today is also the 3rd day in the month of Kartik. Unfortunately, many people don't know much about Kartik. There are many confusing rules, confusing statements, confusing practices that people have about Kartik. And as you'll hear tonight a little more, the power of Kartik is usually lost because plenty of people don't know what to do and when to do and how to do. And tonight I told everybody, as I always do, please send me your questions. So I got some really, really, really interesting questions this day. I wouldn't say inappropriate. I'm not saying inappropriate. I'm not saying even wrong questions, and you'll hear why I'm saying that tonight. But it just shows that we are doing things when you hear the questions that young and young at heart have. And we are, as pundits, maybe as leaders, as Hindus who have been in this faith longer than others, thinking about older, let's say the grandparents and the grandchildren, we are robbing our younger people of the information to do it properly. So a 64-year-old converted Hindu, usually recently came into the faith from abroad sent me a message. This gentleman lives in Switzerland and he's not accustomed to all the rites, if you want to say that, that we have, all the procedures, the pujas. In India, we have a lot of, um, yatras and different type of, they're walking with the murti and processions and so on. But he's reading and he's learning, and he says, I have looked at the Diwali time, in his words, and I've seen in some ads and advertisements, some pictures, it is about Lakshmi. And then in some, I've seen that it is about Sri Ram. What is Diwali? In this Yagya, I want to answer some of those type of questions, the basic questions, I would say. Because there are those amongst you, I'm sure, that would say, a man asking, what is Diwali? Wouldn't that child ask the same question? There are many people, for example, forget Diwali, everybody know about Diwali. You know about Diwali. What about the day before, when we light what we call Yam Deep? Narak Chaturdasi is the proper name of the day before Diwali. Why do we do what we do? What do we do, Baba, before you jump there? Crazy pundit. Why we do what we do? What it is? What is it for? Who is to benefit? You see, friends, everybody depends on what they are told and what they hear. And in this month of Kartik, where there are so many wonderful occasions and opportunities for people to pray to help themselves, whether woman, man, child, business person, employee, employer, whatever is your hat that you wear in this life, there's a way to ask for help. Just as there's a recipe to make a cake, and you follow the recipe and you get the happiness, the joy of having your cake. Tonight I am saying, if you follow the right procedure, then at the end of the procedure, you will have the outcome that you are looking for. However, we are in a year, this year, where people are getting very sick. People are losing their jobs. In our local circle, political circle, in our economy, locally, and externally, internationally, a lot of unrest, a lot of trouble. So if I have my problems and I want to get help, then we have to know what to do. In our Yagya tonight, I am going to introduce the topic of Kartik, some of the benefits, basic things, what to do, what is not to be done. In it, I will touch on one or two things that will bring to light what to do. Simple as that. And the second night, third night, fourth night, fifth night, we're going to expand on those topics. We're going to go into it a little more for the benefit of all. One such topic is this thing about bathing. Now, as a pundit, that guides a lot of people with patra, prayers, remedial prayers, depending on the type of dose you have, the type of girl you have. Some people see things, some people hear things, some women, with all respect to everybody viewing, some women have the horrible experience of going to sleep, and when they get up in the morning, in your private parts, in your private areas of your body, maybe where only the husband might know, scrape marks, dig marks, squeeze marks, stifling effect, and you're feeling like you want to get up, you want to get help, but something is stifling you. In the easiest reference I can talk about is the Hanuman Chalisa, where he talks about these things. In meeting people and guiding people, sometimes people are very willing, they have the right attitude, but they don't know what to do. Sometimes when people go to the Baptist faith or Risha faith, other faith, even Catholic, and they talk about the baptism in water, they talk about taking a bath, they talk about holy bath, and all these spiritual baths, all these words are bantered about. The Hindu who does not know how to use your Hinduism as a tool sometimes finds themselves, they might be Hindu, don't get me wrong, they might find themselves wandering elsewhere for help. You see, Part of the problem is when people have problem and you're desperate, you go wherever you could get help. I agree. Do you agree? Do you understand that? Suppose COVID is rampant. Suppose I have a child. Suppose I have a family member. Put yourself in that position. And they're sick. And I need help. I go wherever I could get help. And I understand parents that are in that position. I understand somebody who is in a marriage and they're fighting. And somebody says, I could help you. You go for that help. Tonight, I just want to introduce, in part of our discussion, the concept of taking a bath. A bath in Hinduism, because it is not something that is alien to us. In fact, I grew up knowing in Kartik, you go for a bathe. Maybe we don't know why, maybe we don't know how. And tonight and the other nights, I want to explain properly. One night, I want to do the Tulsi Mahima of Tulsi Mata during this time. What is supposed to happen, how to do it, and then post on Facebook and YouTube and places like that the procedure, how to do it, why do we do it. So, for example, the person who is watching tonight, at this time, I'm asking everybody, please share the video, please share the satsang, so other people could view it. People who have rheumatoid arthritis, people who have gout arthritis, people who have pain in the body. If you read up on doing Tulsi Puja in the month of Kartik, one of the things, one of the immediate benefits that a devotee of Tulsi Mata will get is a release of the lifestyle of being in pain constantly. There are some people who have neuropathic pain due to diabetes and all these things. And it might be interesting for you to listen how to do and what to do and how you could proactively help yourself. Then another night, I'll deal with the Narak Chaturdasi in detail. Who is Satyabhama? And I've received some questions about Lord Krishna and who did Lord Krishna marry to. And I've heard he has so many wives. And to explain all that, we'll do that one night. There are different things that we'll discuss in this Kartik. And as we get in tonight, I am asking you to please leave me a comment. Tell me where you are from, where you're viewing. And please share the live, please share the video so that people all over can view. There are many people who are locked away in their home. And Baba can't go to the Ganga, Baba can't go to the river, and I can't go to the sea. What could I do? Tonight, let's deal with that. Let's enter into a discourse where we are finding out about this wonderful month of Kartik. We enter tonight into Skanda Purana. I'm reading from the Kartik Mas Mahatyam. In this text, it's separated into different parts where the Mahatyam or the greatness of different holy months is given. So we just came out of, for example, a Digmas. And we spoke at length about the value of this Purushottam Mas, a Digmas. And now we enter into Kartik Mas, or the month of Kartik. Let's join together. And I hope for those of you that are viewing, please, I am sure there will be questions. Feel free to message me. You can send it on WhatsApp. If you're looking on YouTube, you can still send it to me in your comments. Leave a comment on the video, or you can send a comment or question on WhatsApp for me. I'll leave my number at the end. Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram. Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodaram. Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham. Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham. Achyate Savaye Vallahe Kartike. Sambaye Nayakam Guruye Pulaha. Yatite Nayakam Yadavaye Salat. Betale Pushkale Shri Madhavaye Nama. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam. Everybody. Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam. Krishna Damodaram Vasudevam Hari Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandra Vaje Janaki Nayakam Ramachandra Vaje Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. For those of you that are watching live on Facebook, if you could just send me a message. Is the song coming across clear? Are you hearing me? Please indicate. And Mommy Baba is watching. So send her a message. Everybody, I need your support as I told you earlier. Let's share the live. Leave my comments. Come on. Interact with me. I am doing this for everybody's benefit. And I hope that it reaches you in good spirit. And tonight, someone called, as I said just before, and they asked me about Karva Chauth. Karva Chauth, in a nutshell, is a night in Kartik now, where the moon is in the sky and you hear and you'll see it on ZTV. Your TV is your guide now. Your TV is your guide. I've done this discourse before. So I don't want to waste time doing the same thing again. I like to teach new things. Agreed? So you will see them with their sifter and they're looking at the moon and they break their fast with their husbands. But just like that, there are many wives today that know, okay, I see somebody looking at the moon in the Indian movie, but I didn't know about the fast, Baba. What are they fasting from? How do they do their puja? What are you praying for? I don't know. I just see something on TV. Karva Chauth is an example when women are being treated badly in a marriage. Not only the husband lifespan, but suppose for all you ladies out there tonight, a husband, and I'm saying it, my wife is right here, your husband is your first child. They're troublesome. I troublesome, don't get me wrong. When you can't find the socks, who you just call? When you have to get the flowers for the prayers, who you just call? When you misplace your own, let me just say, tool, we just blame. The life of a lady, going back to the wedding ceremony, begins, it is expected that in the marriage there's going to be turbulent waters and troublesome days. So in the Hindu wedding ceremony, as the girl comes, remember your days, remember your wedding? When the girl was sitting on this side and she came on this side, still on his right hand side, the boy goes quickly and he does Jai Hom, Jai Havan. Let's call it Jai Havan. Different forms. Strange names are called. Chitteshwaraya, Akuteshwarayan, etc. Mantras. Sweet rice is offered into the fire. Dear God, by bringing this girl into this family, I'm going to cause her distress. I'm going to cause her to change her name, her regiment, time she gets up in the morning, children pain, honeymoon pain, you name it, pain. Her life is about to become very hard. Why? Because the husband wants a wife. The husband must have children. He needs a companion, they say. So because he wants these things, come this girl now into all these changes. How much change does a man go through really? Other than he gets happiness, he gets companionship, sexual happiness, gratification, and subsequent family happiness. All part of marriage. The girl is the person that is always under duress. Look at the word I'm saying, duress, because she has a lot of stress. Tonight, Karva Chauth is a tool used by a woman to pray when things are not going too right in the marriage. To pray to Devi, Bhavani Mata, Mother, in a nutshell, Mother, help me. My mother-in-law, my mother, who are going to talk to? Who is there for me to reach out to? When you're going through trouble, who do you turn to? I don't know, Baba. The little bit I know, and there is the problem. If you know about aspirin, you take aspirin and it will save your life. Agreed. Suppose I don't know about aspirin. Suppose I have no knowledge that there's this tablet that could thin my blood, relieve a headache, etc. Suppose I don't know the rules for taking aspirin. Follow me, eh? Follow me. It is near. Suppose I take the same healing drug on an empty stomach and the same aspirin that is going to help me with my cholesterol or my heart or my headache eats away at the stomach bag. Have you ever had that experience with aspirin? It's not nice. You could damage yourself by using the same medicine wrongfully. You see it every day on the news. Somebody overdosed, somebody damaged themselves, somebody drank bang. Bang is good, everything good, but abuse it or too much and you'll get damaged. Likewise, I want to do the prayers, but if I do the prayers wrongfully, if I do the prayers with the wrong mindset, bad preparation, maybe I did not fast, then are you going to get the same outcome as the person who did the prayer properly? And the answer is no. Tonight, let's enter as the rishis are sitting and they want to know more about, they have reached in the Mas Mahatyam taken in Skanda Purana again. I'm reading from the chapter 1, section 4 of the Mahatyam of this is the Kartik Mas section. And tonight, let's hear about the Guru that says the value of this month and what are we supposed to do. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Naimisharanya Munivar Lekar Nushtaye Praptya Chobhe ye muni van kiya kripa guru ye aur kaya snana narayana. Come on everybody, sing along with me. May I sing in too much tonight, don't worry. Ye namo nama Vrindavan Bihari Lala ki jai. So all the munis went that way in this holy field named Nisharanya. We hear about this place in different texts, Bhagavad, so on. In this Yagna, we are reading from different texts. Tonight, I'm starting in Skand, but we'll venture into different places. Trust me, if you follow me, you'll enjoy it. A lot of research went into this Yagna. Everybody had their bath, cleansed their mouth, did the entire morning ritual of getting themselves ready and settled for prayer, which is important. Now they ventured onto the field where Guruji is in the middle. See it in your mind, I'm describing it so children could understand. Guruji is sitting, let's say on a stage, a pedestal, a podium. He's folded, his feet is folded, and all of them are asking him. Saunak Rishi is the main Shishya, Suji is the Guruji. Saunak Rishi says, could you tell us about the greatness of Kartik? We've just heard about Vaishak, Mrigashira, and all the other prayers that could come. Me and you, we just heard of Adigmas. Now, please tell us about Kartik. Guruji says, Narad Muni once asked Brahma the same story. Brahma told him Satyabhama, the one of the wife of Lord Krishna, had asked the same question. Valakilyas is a guru who had given a discourse where Surya was answering Aruna. In your Pitya home, where Surya Dev was coming in that big Pitya, and the charioteer who is holding the 7 horses, Aruna, the younger brother of Garudji, had asked Surya Narayan Swami about this discourse, about the benefit. Everybody wants to know. Children, everybody wanted to know. Even Parvati Mata. Parvati Mata asked Lord Shiva on Kailash Parvat at one point, what is the benefit? What is the benefit of this Kartik? But the reason I'm touching on that Parvati Mata, I'll do that another night, because I had been asked about the menstrual cycle and worship. Menstrual cycle and the rules what is to be done, what is not to be done. And in giving the people in the groups that are with me in the ashram, in the WhatsApp groups, we discussed what Baba had said, which was a reflection of what some of us would know. And I'm bringing it up in the Yagya because if I don't talk about it as a guru, as a teacher, then we'll never, it'll just be shoo, shoo, shoo. And I hear this one say, and the them say, and the do say, but we'll never get what God say. So please understand that I am not, for the older people, I am not going down a macabre road. I don't want to talk about things that are, in some people's mind, they would say that is unclean. The truth is, it is a point to try to streamline our rules so that our young ladies today would know what is appropriate and what is not appropriate. For the purpose of not of bashing women or saying anything bad about anybody's daughter, but for the benefit of becoming a better educated, understanding your dharma Hindu, why we do what we do. So I'm introducing that point right now, and I'm saying that subsequent, not tonight, but subsequent, when we're doing it, we'll be referring to the words of Parvati Mata, because she talks about it. This month of Kartik, when Naraji goes to Brahma, as Guruji says, he says, Brahma is the source, and he's given to him his son, Narad Muni, all about it. And Narad Muni wants to know why this month is so great. What is this month about? Could you please, oh Father of this universe, give me the discourse about Kartik? He says, the first thing you have to understand of all the months that I have created, in this month of Kartik, which exists between roughly in the English calendar, from October half to November half, thereabout, that month, this Kartik month usually is considered to be the best month of all. Amongst the Devatas, Madhusudana, Damodhar, Vishnu, the one who kills Madhu and Kaitab on his legs, he is the best. The most excellent one of all Tirat in this world, Hoti Tirat, is given. Another name is Narang Tirat. Koti Tirat is a place that Sri Ram makes because of his bow. The tip of the bow is referred to Koti. Some people say Koti, Koti Pranam, Koti, Koti Dhanyabad, Koti meaning plenty, plenty, million, million. But in this example of Koti Tirat, it means the Tirat that is formed when Sri Ram took the bow and he popped a hole in the earth and something happened. And we'll touch on that another night. He says, in this age of Kali Yuga, it is very rare for people to appreciate, for people to understand, for people to upkeep themselves during this month. And I'm saying this directly to you. Please listen to this. In this age of Kali Yuga, people's knowledge will be weakened. People will be robbed of the opportunity to do the best type of worship during this month. It would be as if we knew they used to do something. We knew something used to be done in this month of Kartik. For example, let's just say, in my example, this is an example. I was telling my nephew this the other day. I know what Diwali, when we were small, we used to be bursting bamboo. Everybody used to light up 1,000,000 diyas. So my nephew said, well, Mamu, in your time, when you were young, coconut oil was cheap. Agreed. Do you see the willingness of people now, though, to light diya, to do it because Lakshmi Mata is coming? In my time, I remember getting buff because I was lazy. Go and light your 6 o'clock diya. I won't have my mother watching tonight. She's by my sister, taking care of the babies. My sister has a twin. I remember getting quarrel. Put down your book, know your priorities, put down your book, go bathe, and go and light your diya. And then God will help you understand the book. Because on your own, son, you're stupid. You can't do it. And that is how I was taught. So whether the diya was lighting every day before the 6 o'clock hour, then Diwali day came. That was a big thing. I remember washing the diya, soaking the diya with water so it wouldn't pull too much oil. Then prep the deer, spread it out on a big table. And if it was 50 deer or 100 deer, how many dozen they used to buy, we used to light it. And then the next morning, you didn't want to get up because you was up so late. And then you had to go and pick up the deer because they will buff you. I used to get plenty buff. But things are changing. Forget about the prayers. Forget about all that. People don't like deer again. People do worship again like how they used to. But be fair, the water in the carcass Cedrus is coming in more. The land is disappearing. Mayaro in Trinidad is the shoreline. Do you remember the shoreline when I forget how the beach name in Maruga, Larafin? I remember as a child, for those people in Maruga, for those people looking on, come on, have you ever been to Larafin Bay a long time? You remember you used to walk down that concrete pedestal? About 2 years ago I went. And now that concrete pedestal is about 30 feet into the sea. Older people will know more than me. I'm a little boy. People in Miami, in North Miami, in Dade County, the water is coming up. Slowly, people are losing their homes. Look at the storms. Look at the weather patterns. Look at the fires in California. For those people viewing from California, God bless all that we control that. I have this stupid fire that started because of the gender reveal that happened the other day in the park. All the losses, all the people's house burned like Hawankan ashes to the ground. Not necessary. If you don't see things are changing in the weather, something is wrong with you. If you as a Hindu are not seeing the changes in the practices of the young and younger at heart, the next generation as they're coming up, something is wrong. Changes are happening, but it's not for positive. It's overall negative. I remember wishing I could go and do the bamboo arch business, but my mother never let me go because she said, you so bad luck, you cut your finger. And I believe that. But people used to make so much of pretty things with the effort and the energy, the insight, the imagination. We had that. Now, kill the poor dog with fireworks, dies about it. Long time you used to hear people singing and people walking and all these things. Those days are gone. In fact, where I live, although the village is Hindustan, is a good mixed population inside here. And I share a good, wonderful, loving relationship with all my Christian brothers, Muslim brothers, Negro brothers, all races. And people, I remember growing up when we were small and people would walk across, hey, Pandit, Kesh, you have any parsad? Where you had it to eat, boy? I did not grow up around anybody, whether Negro otherwise, whether Christian otherwise, where they had a problem. Nobody had a problem. Everybody used to come and help me light the deer. Believe it or not, those days did exist. He's saying here, now I'll put it in perspective and I'm putting it for you. In Kali Yuga, it will be as if we knew we used to do something. What we used to do, I don't know. At the very onset, to understand the greatness of this Kartik, in this month, the greatest thing that you could give to the Lord is the gift of a light, or a lamp, a diya as we say. People observe holy and auspicious vrats. Vrats such as fasting from meat and alcohol. You'll hear you refer to that later on. Fasting from sleeping on your bed. Fasting from the husband and wife. Celibacy. But why do we sleep on the ground? And I was reading about this when I was doing Skanda Purana recently. Baba, only a wicked boy. What we sleep on the ground for? What that could do? I want to remind everybody, I try to teach. I try. I wouldn't say I'm very good at it. I try. But bear in mind, sometimes there are things you may not know. Just consider that. And although when somebody says something you don't know, please don't be like other people. Don't make yourself look foolish. Know how to ask a question. Research. There's nothing wrong in asking a question. This is why we have guru. This is why we have pundits and people with the ability to help you be a better you. But when you get into that arrogance and you start to think, okay, I know it all. My mother never do it so. One lady, My mother-in-law never teach me that. So I know nothing about that, and me want to know nothing about that. Don't do that. I spoke about it last year. Just mention it here now. In our Dharma, people have polluted. Other religions, other races have cried down. I saw recently on the Facebook, somebody highlighted a person from a different faith, different race, saying that on the Wali Nagar, on the stretch by the highway, there's a lot of accidents because people do worship the Kali Mata on the highway and offer her blood. So this very bad god from the Hindu faith is looking for blood. So because of the Hindu god Kali, people are dying. It have nothing between me and you tonight. It have nothing with drinking and driving, reckless driving, speeding on the road. No, the Kali Mata have to pay for it. So instead of attacking people, my approach, because remember we are non-violent people. Whilst we defend ourselves, we don't incite violence. So somebody had sent me a question. I want to touch on that right now. What do I think about the rioting and the looting in America? I think we can protest. I think what black people, Negro people go through in America, we as Trinidadians, Caribbean people, do face racial treatment and racial bias, but we don't know it to the extent that they would know it in the States, to be honest. What we get and what they get is different. And if there's a problem, just like in Trinidad, there's a problem, I am all for protest. I am all for voicing your opinion in a safe way, obviously. Nobody says get yourself killed, and nobody says kill anybody else. The part where I don't understand is what is the benefit of looting in your own district, in your own village, in your own area? What will that accomplish? That is my opinion. We maintain non-violence. We maintain there's a way to do it. There's a way. So, as we continue, he says, the greatness of this time, in this month, when people are fasting, for example, with the Skanda Purana I was talking about just now, imagine, I love KFC. Imagine is the first word I say there. I love KFC, as I always use this analogy. Me and Anushka in KFC temple. Jai fried chicken, Hare. Some people worship KFC, right? Don't be insulted. That is the truth. It have some people who their God is that KFC. They can't do without that. I know some are watching me right now. That is all right. I know what I'm saying. It's the truth. It has some people can't do without that. Fact, go to Wali morning and see how much Hindu people in KFC. I am not accustomed fasting, so my mother tell me how to fast, so I start to fast. So maybe somebody died and I have a bandara to do. Fine. And whole day I fasting and dribbling now. I want food. Oh God, the neighbor. Oh God, why you had the banda curry? Oh God. And I dribbling. When you go to sleep, when you're accustomed sleeping next to your spouse, when you're accustomed being as a husband and a wife sexually, I know you had a fast. And then I accustomed eating what I want when I want. Me accustomed fasting from meat. Now forget the meat, fast from meat. I going to drink my little beer. I want my food. If I have food with salt, I suffering. When I go on a bed and the silliest posturepedic sleep number bed, the best bed, the most expensive bed, and I go into REM sleep and I am deep in slumber and I am going to see myself in dream, rapid eye movement, deep sleep. I'm going to see myself line up and I'm back in the temple collecting the parsad with all the different ketchup and all the condiments. Oh boy, it's parsad time. And I'm going to eat what I cannot get to eat when I'm fasting. I'm going to break my fast. So, as a Hindu, we sleep on the ground. Maybe with a little sponge, little bit here. Why? So that you don't get that deep sleep, so that you do not end up dreaming about what you're grieving for, so you don't break your fast. Whether you could imagine something to eat or copulation with your wife or your husband to cause you to break your vrat. Now you're fasting for Shivratri, a Yagna at your home, whatever it be, there's a way to fast. This is one example of abstention. And why? He says, in this month of Kartik, blessed is the person who could understand the greatness of Gopi Chandan. Chandan, which is made in Dwarka. You see it on the Hare Krishna. They wear it. I'll put it on tomorrow night. You'll see it. Why do we use these white Chandan sticks, which is made from the dirt of Dwarka, Bindraban? And then in Trinidad, we have the habit of making local Chandan. In parts of Suriname, in parts of other places in the world beside India, it is done. In Holland, for example, as you walk into the place of worship or the chanting where the Hare Krishna jumping and they're happy in that moment of glorifying God's name, they have to stamp you. So we'll hear about that. The person who listens to the greatness, the value, and practices the worship of Tulsi during this time of Kartik, that person gains great amount of blessing. However, there are many people that don't know why and how. If I ask you tonight how to worship Tulsi, what is the correct way? Baba, to be honest, I know we just offer a little dar, maybe a dia, but that is about it. Don't worry. Your Baba will type up a full procedure and you'll have it tomorrow. I've heard that in parts of Varanasi, southern parts of Bangalore and Mysore, that when it is this time, when the Diwali is coming up, people worship the Amla. I think they call it Indian gooseberry, I'm not sure. Amla, we use it in all those creams and so on. Embellic myrobalam is the scientific name. The Amla plant, they like deers and so on underneath it and why. And then the Visarjan, the closing rite. When that is done properly, people get away from great amount of ailments. O Narad Muni, during this time, if a person could put all the yagya on a scale, all the yagya and all the monetary gifts that you could imagine, everything that is considered to be valuable, gems, jewel, gold, any amount of money, cloth, food, those things, put it on this side and put the month of Kartik on this side, and all the money you could imagine would not be 1/16, 1/16, the benefit or the punyam of doing prayer in this month of Kartik. He says, follow me. There are many places of Tirat in Bharat, in India, such as Pushkar, where the temple of Brahma is located, Kurukshetra, where the war with Krishna was waged, and others, Varanasi, the place where Lord Shiva lives for 50% of the year. Put all those Tirat on this side of our scale and put Kartik on this side, and Kartik will outweigh the benefit of those great and holy places. It is not to say, and I want to be very clear, if I go in there and I get to do puja here, dear Baba, I don't have to fast for Kartik. No, my friend, you are very, very wrong. Why I'm saying it so? Because somebody said to me in a question, Baba, I had to go in there. I was planning to go to the river, but because of the lockdown, we are restricted. We can't go. We can't travel. So I will not be able to reach to the Ganga, to go to Pushkar Lake, to go in all these different places. I can't go it. So how will I get my blessings? Wherever meritorious rites are performed in the month of Kartik, praying to Mahavishnu, I have told you, O Narad, that there is nothing to compare with that vrat, with that fast in the month of Kartik. In fact, the human birth is very difficult. Last week, I sent out a pitya of a couple of verses, pages from Skanda Purana Prit Manjali. It's on Facebook, you will see it. And in that section, Lord Vishnu is talking about the value of this body, this birth. Why is it valuable and why do we maintain the body? It was in reference to COVID. It was in reference to people that are depressed because they're locked away in their homes, especially people like in Florida, people in Maryland, people all over America and all over this world. Europe right now is getting ready for preparations for a second lockdown. Look at what's going on in England, in places like Oxford, in Surrey, in different counties. People are really, really traumatized because it's very dismal. If I'm home, how am I going to work to pay the bills? So we have become now as if we are dependent on the state. Some people are okay with that. Not everybody is. You have lost your independence, you've lost your livelihood, and you've lost your freedom. as it were. And many people are not comfortable with this. In this time where this human birth is so difficult to get, the man who does not perform the religious rites, the holy rites, the charitable rites in this month of Kartik, oh great sage, it is as if he's a murderer of his own parents. Meaning to say, you have the opportunity. Why do we call putra and putri? What is a son? What is a daughter? According to the definition of Skanda Purana, the person, listen to me, the person who chooses correct and because of their goodly acts, good choices, they uplift the father's soul, they uplift the mother's soul. So just one example, just to put it clear. You have a daughter, you train her properly, she gets married, she goes off into the husband's home. And one day, because she becomes a good wife, a good mother, so many roles she has, a good daughter-in-law, somebody says, whose child is that? Where that girl come from? Where you find that woman, an ugly boy like you, find that gem? How is that, possible? Who is she? Or that Barry and Sumintra daughter. She used to live up the road, but the parents who really did a wonderful job with she. And since that girl come, I never regret marrying her. I never regret bringing her in my home as mother-in-law, father-in-law. My mom is the best. Then the father and the mother of that girl in this example know that their soul is happy, know that they are secure. That is the value of a child. So when you do crazy decisions, when you do, I have to say, when you throw away the opportunity to do good, your parents pay for it. Any month of Kartik, of all months, this is the most excellent month to do things that are sanctifying, cleaning, doing different types of gifting. In this month, a person can clean their money, their home, their body by simply doing simple worship. In this month, there are 33 devis that are let loose upon the earth. And for this reason, when you call upon them, as different rituals are being done, people are able to get the Vardhan, the blessings, the Ashirvad of these various forms, are not limited to them alone, but these forms are there daily, giving blessings on the different moon days. Today was the Tritiya, tomorrow is Chaturthi, Panchmi, etc. that give blessings. What is to be done, O Narad? With full devotion. Devotion, people. Holy bath, remember we talk about bath, holy bath, charitable gift, feeding people, holy rites as prayer, yagna, etc. Various types of gifts to cows and various types of gifts of cows made during this time. Gifts of things that have the sesame seed in it. Gifts of gold, silver, because of the form it represents. If I ask you tonight, just as a little test between me and you, don't tell nobody. I've done Gita part, Baba. Good. Where does put the little gold in the Gita book for again? Send me a message. Send me a comment right now. What that for? Tell me what you know. I'm sure you do it. Send me a message. Please remember, share the video. Come on. Let me get your family involved. Get them viewing. He says these types of gifts are done in this month and it yields a higher percentage of return. It is as if it is inexhaustible. The merit that is in this month really cannot comprehend how far reaching it is. Of all the gifts that are mentioned here, he says, Nara, the most important gift is the gift of cooked food. If the sattvic food is cooked and prepared, blessed food, clean food, that is given firstly to Krishna. Krishna is fed first, and then it is allowed to be shared amongst the people. The act of sharing that food is greater than every monetary gift that a person could give. So, sattvic food, I had a question. Somebody says, Baba, I'm talking about it again. I have prayers coming up. Could I cook the roti Monday? Could I cook the chana Tuesday? Could I cook the mahanbhog Wednesday? I'll put everything in the freezer. And before the pandit come on Sunday, a week after, I'll hot everything up in the microwave. and we'll share it. Because it's in the fridge, there's no bacteria. The bacteria cannot multiply, so it's safe, it's healthy. My dear friends, remember, read your Bhagavad Gita. It talks about not stale food. Stale food is not sattvic food. Fresh food. In fact, everything that is prepared for prayer, one of the elements that is making whatever, whether you're talking food, prasad, manbhog, whatever it is, sweets, it must be created in up to one pahar before the offering is made. So one pahar is 3 hours. For this reason, isn't it part of our culture that you get up the morning of your prayer to make prasad, food stuff, etc.? For those people that ask me, Baba, we saw you mention and suggest somebody with cow milk, and we talked about the fasting and the treatment and the milk. Then I forwarded, because people were asking me, who do I think is safe to buy sweets from? And I put somebody there. Baba, why is this important? Think about what you are offering. And I encourage everybody, because there are people in different parts of the world who can't cook and make all these different traditional prasad, but they want to have it. And all I would say is, please purchase from people you trust. Please, please purchase. I went to a puja store in San Fernando one day, and the girl said, imagine I fasting from a prayers. I'm obviously making an example. I am fasting for my prayers, and I abstaining from all the KFC and the this and the that. And my darling hand me the puja bag, so with a leg in she hand, and the juice and everything on my puja bag. And poor Keshava had to go and offer that in prayers. I fasting. So there's a risk. There is a risk when you are dependent on others to assist in your preparation. Please use those avenues and individuals that you trust. In the night, when we are talking about the menstrual and the whole menstrual cycle, that also comes up. Because we want that when somebody comes to help fix and clean and cook, they know what is appropriate and what is not. Because there's no way for anybody to verify the word of another person. Think about me in my position. Every day I do prayers for people. Every day I'm guiding somebody on how to fix themselves. Did you fast properly for this prayer? Yes, Baba. Would the pundit really know if you ate meat the morning of your prayer? If you didn't fast at all, would the pundit know? No. But God knows. And when you see the backlash, because somebody asked me a question, is it possible that things are going good, but things are getting worse in my life? Trouble is coming. Could you explain that? In a short while, you're going to hear him talk about it. He says in this month, when people are hungry, when people are in any type of distress, when people are in trouble, and you with your good heart offer them something to eat, know that there is no sin that cannot be removed from your history. Because there is no month like Kartik when a person does this worship and then offers the food to Krishna, allowing Damodar, Murari to eat that food, salt food, sattvic food, clean food. Know that there is no gift better than that. There is no tirat greater than the Koti tirat or the Ganga. There is no gift on par with cooked food, cooked rice, whatever it be, whatever is the recipe. There is no scripture greater than the month, the Veda. There is no month greater than Kartik. Wealth that needs to be purified. When sometimes, imagine you're running a business and there are people who in different faith have where they put oil on dollars and bills, and they want to take the bad luck from this person, and when you touch the money, the bad luck, the dryness financially, it goes to you. During this month, many people don't know why we are lighting diyas, we are doing prayers. Many people don't know why we are doing so much puja. Imagine, one of my comments I've always been saying, and I don't know if this is for you. I do Lakshmi Puja throughout the year. I'm praying for money throughout the year. I'm having the most trouble this year. I'm losing money. I'm seeing the luster and the barakat and the everything is going out the door. But you know, Diwali morning, when it is the most appropriate morning for Lakshmi to come in my house, instead I am sitting doing beads mantra. Panikeshva, could you give me a mantra to help my business? Om Bhori Lakshmi, Devi Lakshmi, Siddhi Karanimam, Bandapurikriyam Swaha, and other mantras like that. When Pandits sit down on Diwali day, Diwali night, and they are jaghawe in their mantras and they're doing for themselves, what are you doing? You know, one person told me, Baba, we can't come because I will be cooking Sahina. I have to cook this, that, you name it. It is a menu because that day has become Sahina day. That is a cooking day instead of a praying day. This year, with all the lockdown, with everything that is happening with temples, because the government really in Trinidad, they gave us the freedom to go back to the church. But in the description of our hour, even when I was talking to the police, they didn't understand how you're going to do that because like this satsang is 2 hours. So I have decided within myself to do puja in the temple and not do satsang in the temple where I have 100, 200, 300 people coming. I'm not going to put you at risk. We are going to follow all the protocol and even put in some of our own. I am still making the availability to do prayer together on Diwali, the day before Diwali, the day after Diwali. If you're interested, please let me know. And I'll give more information on that as we go. He says, in this month, oh grandfather, what else is there? How do people purify their wealth? By giving charity, by giving to the needy, by giving to the help. The curses, the nastiness that is associated with money, it cuts. So what happens is, when you give a little dollar or whatever you could afford, you find that your good luck, your Lakshmi is coming back to you. For this reason, have you ever seen people put a little dollar or $10 or whatever they have under their Lakshmi Murti? And then they would take that money from there and maybe give it to the temple, buy oil for the diyas, feed our children, home, a poor house, whatever it is, within your right. I'm not trying to cheat anybody. I'm not going to rob my own self. I accumulated this little wealth and I'm going to take that and give it all away. I can afford to do that. Whatever I'm given, Gita says, give it with a good mind. Narad Muni says, oh Prabhu, oh Father, suppose a person is weakened by sickness. Suppose a person is unable to do all that you have just described. If a person cannot, for whatever reason, muster up the strength or physically reach to the tirat, where the different things are being read or whatsoever, what could a person do? He says the first thing, I don't know if you know about this, send the money to another person. Give the money to another individual, possibly a family member, and allow them to do the vrat on your behalf. Long ago, when people used to live abroad and we couldn't get a pandit, wasn't it a known fact that I'll put in a postcard, the little $100, whatever it is, sister, you in Trinidad, take your pandit, and when you're going to do the prayer, do such and such prayer for me. And when you're going to offer the whatever parsad, whatever it be, Sida, whatever, call my name, Keshava, instead of your name, Anushka. You're going to do the prayer samana. Is that real? Is that to be done? Yes. Based on Skanda Purana, based on verses 42 to 45, it is possible that if a person is in the hospital, if a child is sickly, that a parent or some caretaker or loved one could take up the work on their behalf. The month of Kartik is one example. If a person is unable to reach where the puja is being done, if a person is unable to go where the tirat is, let them drink the water from the puja or the tirat. So, if you go to the river, if you go to the puja and you get the little panchamrit, isn't it a known practice that we take sometimes a little water from the lota where the Baba is sprinkling and purifying and given to the person in the hospital bed or children at home, etc. Now, because of COVID restriction, I feel it working out better because instead of only the people in the prayers getting the panchamrit, we have the practice now of capping it and sending it home. So more and more people could benefit. Maybe in the future when COVID is gone, we might revert to sending home some it might be a good idea. If a person is incapable of drinking these things, then that person should practice manasly, mentally, thinking about the name and the katha of Lord Vishnu. If a person does not know, like a stranger to God, he's a stranger to the discourse, he cannot recall and remember, then that such a person that is deprived of the knowledge of Lord Vishnu in this time, let him go in search of the discourse. Let somebody read to him, like what we are going to do for the next 5 nights. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, for those of you that could share the video, for those of you that could subscribe to the channel, so that you are in tune, this is what it is for. So that you will learn more about your Dharma in the comfort of your home, safe away from COVID in this time. The person who keeps awake, if they cannot sit down and learn, if there's nobody to teach you, I have no guru, I have no pundit. Well, these books were written before YouTube and technology such as Facebook. But let's just say you don't have that. Then stay awake on the Ekadasi, Trayodasi, Chaturdasi, those nights in this month of Kartik. Fast and keep up yourself. Sacrifice your ability to rest, and that will bring the Hari Jara, that sacrifice of sleep, will bring blessings. Some people will go in the temple. That's like what we do Shivratri night. And they would remain awake in the temple of Lord Vishnu and remain awake. There are those that will go in the temple during the daytime and sweep the temple and do seva for who? The murtis in the temple. Forget man, do it for God. There are those that will stay in forested areas, calm areas where there's no cars, there's no cell towers, there's no internet 5G to distract you or your children. But for a little bit, worship the water, worship the trees such as Tulsi plant and all these other things. And doing Havan and prayer, the person will be able to get blessings if they cannot afford to give things in charity. Thinking about the name of Lord Vishnu, a person can gain salvation. The person who gives cow in dan during this time, that person is truly blessed. The person who can play the musical instrument obtains the benefit as if he had done yagya to Lord Vishnu. The person who dances, and during this month, that dancer, ta, te, and they start to dance for the Lord, that person receives the blessings of their body, the pain or whatever trouble they might face in their body, that is absorbed into the earth. It is as if the marjana or the wiping off of their past sins is happening. If a person starts the breath and because of death in the family, they are unable to conclude the fret, they should, subsequent to settling all the rites of the funeral, feed pundits, feed the guru, and let that at that time when the person finish eat after the puja, let that be the closing off of the vrat, because sometimes we really don't have knowledge that something is coming, death is coming, trouble is coming, and people find themselves in difficulty. How do you close off something when I didn't know that, okay, I know I went and I did the sankalp holding my hand like this. I put a drop of water, I faced it east, and I talked to the sun, and I said, for the month of Kartik, please, may you allow me to get up and offer my dar every day. May you please allow me to say my prayers every day. May you please allow me to do my job every day. And then something comes during and changes the plan. Imagine a girl with a monthly cycle. Imagine somebody says, Pandit, as I said in the group, um, I had posted what another Baba, his opinion, something he had posted. And in it, the traditional view, without much reference to text, says that if you are unclean, you shouldn't be doing puja. So somebody says, suppose a girl has hormonal problems and this period is running forever and ever. Suppose I didn't know my period was coming and I started the breath, but now I'm in trouble because I'm unclean. I can't do the worship. I don't want to meddle in those things when I am like this. But then he says, feed the guru when you are clean, when that time has passed, and when Guruji has finished, and after you entertain him, then that is now the closing ceremony for this vrat that has taken a different direction. If there is no worship of Lord Vishnu, if there is no worship of the Tulsi or the Dhatri plant is the Amla plant. If none of these things are available, then you worship the cow, then you worship the guru, then you can fast, and in it you will be able to get great amount of blessings in this month of Kartik. Tonight I just want to talk, as we continue, about in the month of Kartik. He's speaking again in a different chapter in Skanda Purana about the value of the holy bath. In the bath, there are four types: Vayavya, Varuna, Divya, and Brahman. And in it, one, the Vayavya is when you go and you wash the legs of the cow. For those of you that I'm advising, when they have different type of yagya, different type of grah, different type of trouble, you go to feed the cow. Part of your meal is shared with the cow. You go to do Tarpan offering on the tail of the cow. Yamraj lives in the tail. There is prayer where the breast or the udder of the cow is worshipped when people have certain problems in their body as women. Then there's a point where if you get to wash the feet, the hoof of the cow, as you wash it, you take it and you pass it on your head like this. Taking that type of bath where the dust is taken off the hoof of the cow is called Vayavya bath. Varun bath is the bath where you go in the ocean to bathe. Brahma bath is the bath where with mantras different things are going to be placed on your body by a Brahman who is versed in the mantras and the prayers and so on, and that is going to take off you spiritual problems, unnatural problems, different type of entities, Najjar, if you want to say Badai, Malju, those type of examples, not limited to those things alone, but that is what you call Brahma Bhat. And Divya Bhat is when a person is doing prayer, like you see Bhagarat in the discourse where Ganga Mata is coming and you see torrential rain is hitting his. When you go to offer for the person who is doing Arham mantra or the Gayatri Varun, the Varun Gayatri, sorry, the person who has diabetes and it is out of control, Baba, what prayer to use? Arham mantra or Varun mantra. A good example is the Varun Gayatri, Om Jala Bhimbaya Vidmahi. And people stand and they're holding their lota and the sun is hitting their body. And the rays, it is as if I am bathing in the sunlight to burn away different ailments in my body, in my mind, for people who are schizophrenic, epileptic, and different mental issues. This is one way they worship, where you sit meditating, controlling your breathing, controlling with mantras and so on, in the sunlight. Sunlight in our Dharma is paramount. And this form of bath brings health, healing, betterment. It is a stress reliever. And in this month of Kartik, the person who has ailments, bacterial infection, viral infection, this type of bath is used. Before we go forward, I don't know if you ever had the experience, but I want everybody to just send me a message, send me a comment on this one. One of the things that I remember growing up was how do we approach the ocean? Remember tonight, Brahma Bhat is Varun Bhat is where you are going to the ocean to have a bath. And Varun Ji is the god, or Sagar is the god of the water, the ocean. So I remember my mother used to say, before you go in that water and drunk, right hand over left hand, a little rice, maybe till, maybe a red flowers, a copper coin, and pray that, dear Ganga Mata, dear Varun Devta, and I'm telling you just how I was taught. Please allow me safe passage. Allow me to go and play in the beach. I'll have a good time and come out safely. Please do not allow anybody to drown. Please do not take any life. Please don't damage me. Our mother used to hold our hands and pray like that. Do you do that with your children? Do you do that with your grandchildren? Do you know how hard it is as a pundit to get the phone call, Baba, we went to the beach and somebody died. We can't get the body. Baba, how to get the body out of the ocean? That's the right where they take the breast, and she's offering, the mother now is offering this breast to the seawater, and the unche her body, and she says, I fed that person, that child, especially if the mother is alive. Please, oh Varun Devta, give me back the body. It sounds very strange, but believe me, in this Hinduism, there are so many great things that if you would only learn about it, oh boy, you would be so much better off when troubles and difficulties, when testing moments come in your life, you would have the knowledge how to help yourself. If only you would learn it. I'm willing to teach. Do you want to learn? Send me a comment. Those of you on YouTube, I'm looking for people to teach how to jari. I'm looking to teach people how to be now. But I'm telling you off the bat, I'll watch in your attitude first. The attitude first. It's free. There's nothing, no cost attached to it. But if you have the wrong attitude, I am telling you now, don't bother, don't waste your time. I remember, what do you remember about your Varun bath going to the sea? Now I see the culture has dropped off the offering to the sea. That was a major part as a Hindu. Where has that practice gone? Are you ashamed? I know there are many people, yes, Baba, I am ashamed to go and pray to the sea when my life is in that water and that water could take my life. I have children, but apparently I'm more concerned about what other people will say if they see me praying before I begin to play. Do you think the problem is the praying or your thoughts? Or you are the problem? When it comes to the parent that is responsible for children or grandchildren, and you're ashamed of your own prayer to hold up flowers, and you do not have the confidence in your own to protect your own who dependent on you, and one rip current could take that. I don't know if the beach is to blame. I don't know if it's the lifeguard to blame. I don't know who to blame. But it usually starts with poor parenting. It usually starts with people that are not exposing the children to the correct thing. If I'm your godfather, if I'm your guru, if I'm your pundit, as a parental figure in your life, I don't care how old he is, I am doing my part. Please remember that. When it comes to the Brahma Bhat, where we're talking about mantras, there are different types of problems. Whether we look at psoriasis, there are the dermatology and skin problems. Then it has scalp problems. Then you have eyesight problems, internal problem like your spleen, your blood not cleaning properly, leukemia, lupus. There are prayers for those things, diabetes, things that cannot be cured as yet in this time, but we could pray that let it please be under control. One example of that is lupus. Lupus is this disease that interferes with people's organs, and from my experience, I am saying fighting with people to prolong life, to extend life, according to what we were reading the other day, as I said, in Skanda Purana. I've seen where a doctor says you have 2 months to live because the disease is that aggressive. And when people get down to prayers, because it have people, and I am nobody in this, I am nothing in comparison to the kind of people I meet every day in prayers, the kind of genuine devotion. When he says talk about devotion, he says people who get down, and when they start to tremble and cry with that ferocity, and they start to pray, partner, the doctor is so well to do. Let me just say in we example, which point it all have gone by, keep doing what you're doing. Because I don't know how to explain it, but it's working. I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. Because you are still alive. You were supposed to be dead. I live and I see people who can't have children. Doctor says, I don't know how you did that. A good job, you're doing it. There are many examples like that. Do you have an example? Could you share your story for people, especially on Facebook? Tonight, at this time, if you are a walking miracle, share your story. Tell me where you're from until we inspire other people to pray. In this holy bath, he alludes to there is a section of Shiv Puran where it tells you take the root of the bale tree, you boil it, it gets brown like tea, and then you bathe with it. Then we have different type of bath. Don't we talk about the 6 days and the 12 days? We were talking about that. I had posted in the group as well as on Facebook, as well as on the page, Keshava Gosine page. The procedure, because plenty of people don't know what to do for 6 and 12 days, what to bathe with, when to bathe, all these different questions. The 6 days and the 12 days is an example of a holy bath with mantras, how to do it properly. The wedding ceremony, bathing the people with milk and dahi, and it have other things to bathe with. When a girl cannot hold a pregnancy, one of the things you bathe she with is cow pee or cow urine, gau mutra you call it, the gobar, to cut the bad karma. That cow gives you 5 things: milk, dahi, ghee, the urine, and the gobar. 5 things that remove panchagavya, that remove the sins, purify you, so that what you're praying for, you get it. It sounds gross, I know. It's the first time you hear about it. Alright. But if you're going to a puja store and you see it selling, understand tonight why. That is what it is be doing on the morning of the wedding. Simulating a bath that would bring about protection, purification, sanctification, clean the person, protect the person. You know how much people is going to get najar for the wedding, for example? And when they rush that part, they don't want to bathe with the oil, they don't want to this, that, and the other. They don't want to do that part. You know, as a pundit, how many pundit? Hold on, my belly ringing. I'll just stop the wedding. Take my advice. Sometimes when the song playing, okay, we're going to have a song now from the orchestra. Sometimes it's not the singing you want to hear, you know. Sometimes the pundit intervening because somebody najar making them vomit. Their weak stomach that to run to the toilet. And the poor Baba trying to cover. Oh, you go look. Hide for them. Everything in every prayer, if you look at it, it have a bath in it. Sometimes if you're doing Shivratri, when you're done, the next morning, the basma or the ashes from the Havan Kun, after doing Havan whole night, people bathe with it to cut the problem. Likewise, Yagna. In this month of Kartik, it says this is a month to bead. This is a month to do your prayer. And when you close your prayer, let's just say today people were doing puja all day, praying for marriage, praying for the life, praying, doing Bandeshwari puja, doing Chandika puja, doing Chamundeshwari puja, all Durga, but you know, in everything there's a different mantra, different offering. So for example, if I'm doing Bandeshwari puja, I'm offering a pumpkin leaf. You put your sweet rice in the pumpkin leaf, no so hurry then, right? Next pumpkin leaf, and you offer it with mantras to mother for certain benefit. So in Durga Mata, it have different form, different procedure, different ingredient. Good. When the prayer is done and you're going to offer your stuff in the river, let's say Trinidad people, some people would offer it in the earth, bury it, because we can't throw stuff in the river abroad. Fine. Take the time to go and have a bath. Take things like till, mustard seeds, the basma from the Havan Kun, and just sit down and exfoliate a little bit and ask that the sickness that I have, the troubles, the stress, because that stress is another sickness, like come off of me, like leave me. And this is a month to do that. But if we are not ever worshipping the water or even practicing the bath, as somebody told me, Baba, and I'm harping on the topic of the different bath because somebody said to me, Pandit, Hinduism does not have spiritual baths. Have you ever heard, and this is a question, have you ever heard of people saying it have bath and bath and bath and bath, and I need to go and have a bath? You don't have a bath with lavender, you don't have a bath with all them white lavender oil. That is a different religion. But in Hinduism, at a minimum, beside the mantras, you just heard, Brahma bath is a bath that is accompanied by mantras. It also has different things as prescribed in Vedas, such as leaves, grains, the Havan ashes or the basmas. You'll hear in Shiv Puran, Devi Bhagavad Puran. Tonight again, I'm reading a different chapter in the Skanda Purana. These things, because of the energy that is involved, the stored energy in the Havan ashes in particular, or the mantra by the person who is jarring, Today I had the opportunity to jarry somebody's foot that is infected, a diabetic person, and it is getting more and more inflamed. So starting off like a little sore, it got bigger, got bigger. So in a case like that, without touching the sore spot, I have a heart. You take bale picker that is very, very sturdy wood, not the soft green one, and you're pulling without touching the raw flesh where it is painful, but around more or less on the periphery of the sore. And the person is going to burn that goes in the water, and you're going to, in a different way, in the month of Kartik, ask for healing, ask for the removal of the bad. The pundit who is constantly saying his prayer, and you could be the pundit in this instance, you can jari, but you have to constantly build the energy or the beads or the energy of the mantra. And just like in this example, what I'm referring to on my experience today, when you go to jari, when people are sprinkling you with water in the prayers, the pundit that is constantly saying Gayatri is removing the negative energy, purifying you. Why do we wash your hand and all them? And when you come back from the funeral, we just have to bathe again. I don't know if people just remember these things. For the person who told me don't have bath, I feel like we just always be bathing. Before people was talking about COVID and wash your hand and whatever, we used to wash your hand every time you go to prayers. So I don't know where is it that you don't know your religion? And I think that is the problem. Sad to say, I think that is the problem. Even if you go and do the prayers where you have to do the mundane sanskar, where you're cutting the child here on the first year of life, on the first birthday then. Part of the prayers, after you cut the hair with the little clumps and you cut it down low as you want it, go and bathe the child and bring back the child in new clothes to complete the puja. This month is the best month to do that bathing ritual. As you hear, it is not only about going to the river or the sea. It could be done with prayers at your home. It could be done with the dust from the cow. So I could be in the middle of the field and just go and wash Gau Mata foot. It could be done if I am not in the country and there's no cow, there's no temple, there's none of these things. But I could stand up in the sun and just let the sun hit me. That is considered to be a holy bath. In purifying your body, in purifying your mind, etc. There are some people who are trapped away in their house right now because of COVID, and they can't experience prayer, Diwali, and other things as they would normally like to. Some people they don't know. Just as in America, they don't know how they will do Halloween, they don't know how to do Thanksgiving because of contact. Some people don't want to go to the store to buy the deers and the oil and all these things because of trade restrictions. Some of the articles that we get from India and other places, you can't find it because they're not letting it out of the port of India. So there be adjustments? Yes. But adjustments that do not take away, from the value of my prayer, the value or the investment. Why is that important? Somebody asked me, if my life was going good and now I realize my life is going like this, how do you explain that? Well, when a person is sometimes going too good, too happy, and they become arrogant, they become boastful, negligent not only with your physical health. I good. I don't have to take the vitamin. I good. Take it for granted that you could get sick, or you could lose your job, or you could be without finance or revenue stream, and you got complacent. That person is unprepared for change. That person could find himself in a deficit or in a very dark hole very quick, and they wouldn't know how to get out of it. Imagine there are people like that when it comes to prayers. A holy month of Kartik has arrived. The holy month of Adik Mas has arrived. The holy month of Shravan had come. And every time Pandit is calling and saying, listen, I'm giving you an opportunity to join. We have restrictions. Like Diwali morning, I'm going to call a few of you. And I'm going to say, because of restrictions, I'm dealing with 10 families at a time. But I still want to give you the opportunity because of the troubles you have at least told me about. Whether you live in Canada, whether you live in France, whether you live in Germany, Jamaica, whatsoever, we could even do online puja satsang, right? We did it already when the Kali Jayanti was there. But I am giving choice, people, because there are people who take things seriously and there are people who do otherwise. Will you take the opportunity? Will you take part? Will you do your worship or will you fall? Will your karma pull you down further? There are people that will see an opportunity because of the value of this body and still their mind, uh, next time, we'll like that tomorrow. And he says that when people throw away the opportunity for holy bath with repeating mantras, to do prescribed duties, whether man, woman, regardless to financial status, regardless to old woman, old man, young man, a eunuch, a sexually active person, a parent, a single person, married person, whatever your status is. When you start to reap the reward of that negligence, you will want to know, what did I do? I did nothing wrong. And this tonight, if this be one of my final points, I want you to bear this in mind. God gave you the body and the faculty of sense. He put you in a Hindu home, or you've joined a Hindu home, and the opportunity for you to at least pray here is there. For you to find a way is there. We join on Facebook, we join on YouTube, we join on WhatsApp, so that you could educate yourself and then practice what you can do in the given space and time that you have, in the limited ability and amenities that you have. So if I'm living in a nursing home and there's no Tulsi plant, I agree. I agree. When we go to talk about that Tulsi, somebody is going to say, well, Baba, I can't do that. That's fine. Did you hear the part where he says, chant the name of God? Govinda bolo Hari Gopala bolo. Govinda bolo Hari Gopala bolo. And then you hear, Baba, I can't sing, and Baba, I can't sing, but you could talk. If I tell you go and sing a carnival song, or a rock song, or any song, you're jumping with them though. You do it. To be frank, you pay to go and do it. Chances are you'll have to buy a very expensive ticket with an expensive costume to go and do that chanting. But the chanting, where in the area where they put $1 to do that chanting, Babs, I can't sing. Oh God, the boy watching me, I'm singing, I don't want nobody watch me, and I say, I don't like that. And these types of ridiculous excuses also constitute sin, because you are throwing away a God-given opportunity. If anything COVID teach we, is when we have a chance to do something, do it. When we could have travel, travel. When we could have see each other, enjoy it. When we could have relish in being together and eating maybe a meal as a family, enjoy it. Now, religiously speaking, I don't know if any of you have the inside information or the assurance that you will see tomorrow or next week or next month. I don't. Kartik is something that when utilized in some of the ways we talked about, a person is able to achieve greatness here and hereafter. There are many people. He says there's a Rajan by the name of Prabhanjana who was able to uplift himself. He was a very haughty, hurtful, embarrassing, insulting person. His mouth had no limit. And in his old age, as he's contracted all the disease, in Keshava Gosine it says, old age comes like a tigress hunting the prey. And when you do expect it, she attacks you. Sickness and trouble based on your karma comes from Yamraj. And now your body is riddled. Now you're looking for God. Now you're looking for salvation. All your time wasted. During these 5 nights, I am going to provide with the knowledge and the information that will set the tone at least for you to do something. This discourse that I gave tonight is something that is not read too often because it doesn't give you the fight. It doesn't have Ram and Shiva fighting in it. But he says in this last verse, blessed is the person if only could listen to the valor, the merit of this month of Kartik and some of its benefits, some of the things to do then, and the benefit that come as a result. That even if the person had committed abortion, if the person has committed a suicide, like in a previous book, or let's say, just say the child committed suicide and the parent is viewing tonight, say a prayer right now on behalf of yourself. As I'm about to chant these couple of verses in closing, dear Lord, there are 9 different forms of worship, devotion, bhakti. There are 9 different ways. Imagine Pandit is at a distance, but I could still hear. I can still envisage this discourse. I can still see Narad Muni talking to Brahman. There are more vivid stuff to come. This is the softest part of this discourse. What you needed to hear some of the things we do and why we do. You needed to reflect on that spiritual bath before we go forward. And as we go forward, because there will be questions coming in, I know we'll answer it. Before I do that verse, let me answer this question. Mommy Baba does not want me to answer this for you. So a good, I don't know how to call this boy now. Let me call him a good godson. Ramadas. Ramadas and are now from down Faisabad side in Trinidad. Ask this question, and I'm saying this with all respect to senior pundits or anybody viewing out of regard. This is the question, and I want to answer it. Baba, a pundit is usually a married man. And as a married person, it is understandable that husband and a wife would come together and copulate to have sex, etc. How is it possible that a person can copulate and then come in the subsequent day or whenever to do puja? What is the appropriate thing? What is the correct thing? Now, Mommy Baba taught it. I was mad for even repeating that question. There are things to be asked and things that should not be asked and all these things. This is my interpretation of that question. Baba, we are all married people. Forget the pundit. All married people. And as married people, we do come together, husband and wife. But then tomorrow I might want to offer Daris Kartik. I might want to go to a puja. I might have to cook. As I said in the beginning, the wife deals with a husband who is like a son. And I'm putting myself in the free. Although don't get me wrong, and I love my mommy Baba. As a husband, my duty is to take care of my wife. Husbandly duty. And a wife's job is to take care of her husband. That is the truth. I love my wife. I love spending time with my wife. I don't know about all of you. But there has to be a point of balance, right? So in my job, it involves a lot of spiritual work. Thank God I meet this girl, and this girl is everything that I needed in terms of being a pundit. So to my now, this is the answer. The answer to the question is, as all married people, we must know how to clean ourselves. In every single thing we do, like lipeni bedi with gobar, bathing on the Friday with the hardi, cleansing exercises, putting gobar under the casket in a funeral, coming from the funeral and simulating a bath. When you go, some of these now them will be doing so much of craziness. They cut in the Congo pepper. Long time they used to put the solid pepper where you go burn your finger. Now they cut in the pepper and they putting it outside in the yard. Tell me if you ever see people do that and have to touch raw pepper to the head and the face and the eye and all kind of craziness. We got to talk about that next thing. But all these cleansing things we just have. Makar Sankranti come, scrub your skin with sesame seed. For married people that have come together, and I now wish as a pundit to go and do prayers, because pundits are allowed to marry, whilst you're having your shower, Gayatri mantra, taken from Devi Bhagavad Purana, in that kand where it deals with the Gayatri. I know it is in the last set of chapters somewhere. I'll get it for the door. Naren, I hope I answer your question. The Baba is supposed to have rules with how, like let's say, to be open. When the pundit goes to use the toilet, all respect. The Pandit hooks the Janeo on his ear like this. There are rules for the Janeo, how to maintain himself, how to clean himself, etc. Changing the Janeo, because remember the Janeo, for the who don't know, is the string that says that it is an initiation, a rite that puts the Pandit from a student to a Dvija, or a person who is second born, being purified of sin, and now given an opportunity to take up Vedic study or religious study. So he wears this thing, I guess, like how a Catholic priest wears the collar. And with it comes certain practice. One of the practices is constantly chanting Gayatri mantra. Please remember that. If as a lady or a man, you become belly, menstrual, unclean, with all respect, when you become clean and you're about to venture back into whatever you're doing, cooking for people, making parsad, preparing something to offer as salt food and prayers, remember the morning for your prayers. When people talk about prepare yourself, they went to the river to bathe, to prepare themselves. They went, prepare yourself in your morning ablutions and so on, and get ready for your worship. Part of it is Gayatri Jap. Dear God, so let me say the shower is to be really to dumb it down. Dear God, as this water, I put my hand so and let the water hit here and it will fall on top of me. Dear God, as this water is falling me by Gayatri Mata and she power, please purify my body, bless me to do what my duty is. So, Om Bharbhaswa, Tat Savitar Varenium, Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi, Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. That mantra said once, as I continuously remind you, burns away the sin of 24 hours. When used in jarin, when used in conjunction with things like basma for a holy bath or anything, leaves, like if the girl go to bed after she make the baby 6 days, 12 days, so on, passage of blood, passage of mucus, sometimes we have leaking mucus from the mouth dribbling, the armpit, some people have air problem, they might leak fluid from here, and they want to prepare themselves now to go and do some worship. This is how you do it. So if nobody never mentioned that, please understand today. Please understand today. This is why. This is how it's possible. And to talk about something that is very sensitive, I hope I did not offend anybody. I apologize in advance. One of the reasons why, for many people, they don't know how to receive a pundit. I am proud to say that I service and I am a pundit to people that love me, and I could boast about my godchildren. When I reach at their home, they are there at the gateway. Zarina is always there, for example. I'm using one example. Zarina and Alvin, I love them dearly. They're always there. Baba, I have the lota here for you. So I'll wash my hand and you see me sprinkle, pass them in my face because I always warm. One of the reasons is you don't know where Baba is coming from, or if Baba forgot to say the Gayatri over his head as a husband. So it is important for you, for your prayer. This is your prayers. You are buying, you are preparing, you want the blessing, so you have to get it correct. Get a pundit that is practicing the Gayatri. Get a pundit who knows about the value of these things, so that when you have prayers, it is done to the best. Think about it now. Think about the man making the roti. Think about the man making the sweets. All these things. Somebody just said, I'm seeing a question here. Somebody just said, what about the homosexual? God made everybody, and sexual intercourse is whatever you choose, not for me to choose. I have many gay godchildren and friends in today's world. Everybody according to God's guidance. In Gita, he says he's the judge. So it is not my place to judge what is right and what is wrong in terms of that. Although we all judge people. But whether it is a heterosexual relationship or a homosexual relationship, Gayatri can handle it. If the person has to clean themselves, better themselves in preparation for prayers, because believe it or not, my dear loving children, gay people need prayers too, and God hears everybody's prayers. Once, what did Brahma say at the beginning? Once it has devotion. If we start to get down into the road of homosexuality, I just want to remind everybody that in Gard Puran, in the section where we're talking about Yamraj house, for those of you that know it, the box with the four gates, and depending on your quality, you're going a different gate. He says in the house of Yamraj, there's no favoritism. Some people think, okay, he's a Gosine, he's a vegetarian, so he will get preferential treatment. Mummy, Baba, Guru, Pandit Brahman and Rambachan would say VIP treatment. Gosine. And you could tell yourself and put all kind of crown on your head as the president, as the CEO, as the dharmachar, as the this, as the that. I am better than you in this life. But Yamraj says, well, when you come by me, it don't matter. You are no favorite and you are no hated one. The only difference, the only thing on the scale is you're good and you're bad. So when we reach that part, please bear that in mind. But to answer the question that the person just sent, even it is what type of act, I'm saying act, right? Gayatri mantra is a purifying mantra that could handle anything. If it could clean when a lady has passed out the placenta from childbirth, if a lady has a monthly cycle, and it could clean that, it could clean anybody. Trust me. Agreed? I hope tonight, come to the end, I hope tonight I have only introduced, based on some questions that some people have asked. I didn't finish all, obviously. We're going to continue in subsequent nights with a lot of focus on the Tulsi, how to do Tulsi worship, the Narakasur and the Narak Chaturdasi, Lord Krishna. Who is this Satyabhama? Somebody said, I heard he has 16,000 wives. People who criticize our religion, you wouldn't believe the history. I'll give it to you. My mother, as I said, I don't know if you're looking on, Ma. Could you come home? I want to do a little play with you, but she's not around. She's never around. We're on a lockdown, and she's never home. I don't know where this lady, she always has somewhere to go. So hopefully before this 5 nights finish, we'll do a little play for everybody, for the children who had asked for it. I want to do it for them. Tonight, I hope this very solemn discourse puts a little framework for people who didn't know about what we do in Kartik. Where does it come from? As I said, I've been reading from Skanda Purana. That has been my focus. It is not limited there. You will find out more about Kartik even in Padma Puran, but not as much. Tonight, in this solemn discourse, I wanted to read this for you because the person who listens to this, the greatness, the mahima of this month, this vrat, this fasting, this person is burning away sins such as up to abortion, murder, all types of hurtful words to parents, harmful words to parents, for people who even kill their parents, physically kill them. Those people who neglected because they changed their religion, maybe, or because of marriage, and the wife says, because you know it has some wife, hello, it have some wife who said, no, that mother-in-law, you're not going to offer one pinda for she. I tell you, I want to do a play. Give me a comment. What do you think? I don't know if anybody had such experience. We need to talk about these things. Even when, whatever it is, there's value in this month just by listening. So I invite you all to join with me. For those of you that view in live, to join me. I know it's eccentric sometimes, and I apologize again for the topics about like the pundit and the sex life and all those things. I humbly apologize if I offended you, but it was a question and it is a real thing that many young people need to know nowadays. Please share your comments. Share this video as soon as I have. I'm dependent on everybody. People is batter and beat pundits. Oh, my pundit doesn't teach. My pundit doesn't have time. Well, sweetheart, for you that love to banter about these damn pundits, it have no arty here. There is no cedar. There is no course. This is just a stupid pundit. A stupid pundit trying to help you. You know what you get blessings for? You see, when I encourage other people to pray, because I believe I had to face God one day too, let me be very clear. I am trying to help you. Please help yourself. Listen to the satsang. Share the satsang so that other people could learn something too. Send me your questions, everybody. For those of you that are watching this after, you could still send me your questions and I will get back to you. Please note, I did not call anybody who sent in a question anybody's name. It might sound funny when I discuss these things the way I put it across, but I put it so not to offend. I put it so for children to understand. But everybody, believe me, we are a race of people, a group of Hindus that are so full of interest and curious about the Dharma that we need to start to answer questions rather than only read stories. Everything has a time and place, and I'm trying to fit everything together. I apologize for going after the 9 o'clock. You know how others operate sometimes. I really apologize. So we are going to continue about Diwali and why we like the Diya and what's the benefit. I was watching the Surdhara Murti today. I don't know what's your opinion. I'm still trying to make up my mind what to read. You ever see how Lakshmi Mata is seen in a lotus flower? You ever wonder why? Why the lotus flower? Why she is seen on a rose or a Gyan? Why are flowers? There's a discourse for it. If you want to hear that, somebody need to message me and say, Babs, read that. If you have an idea for a discourse, we have 4 days remaining. Please send it to me. During the day tomorrow, I will be messaging. I'm sure people are going to ask me questions. I'll be messaging for those of you that want to join the group. It is not late. You can still join the group. I'll send out the link on Facebook after tonight. Please send me a messages, join the group, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share this satsang. I look forward to being with you tomorrow night. We'll be on time, I promise. Have a safe night, everybody. God bless you. From your Baba and Mommy Baba, and tonight we have Anushka Ji, which we thank God for she. I just need help. Again, I'm looking for people to train about jarring, about the now. The only thing holding me back is the little COVID and the restrictions. Because I don't want nobody to come here and they get sick. All right, if you're interested in joining in my group for the Diwali, the Govardhan Puja, this is things like, the numerology, where you put Lord Vishnumurti and you have the 2 seashells on the side, if you know what I'm talking about, Vasudhara Puja, etc. If you'd like to get in that group, it's only 10 people per session, 10 families per session for numbers purposes. We need to keep it down. I still want to open my door, the ashram door, so that some people who have the right attitude could still worship. I am making myself available. You do not have an excuse. If you are interested, reach out to me and I will get back to you. If you are foreign, if you are living wherever, we can work it out. We have technology. Really speaking, there's no excuse. So the door is there. Is if you will walk through the door. God bless you all. Again, let's clasp our hands now as we say final prayer. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I enjoy doing this Yagna with you. And I'm sure you'll learn a lot. Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva bandhuscha sakha tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Come on, everybody. Tvameva sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Prem Sabalomapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Pavanaputra Hanumana ki Jai. Shri Adi Shakti Mata ki Jai. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. Siddharam, everybody. God bless you. Have a safe night. Be well. Until tomorrow, Siddhara.